Hey everybody, it's Tony with Haps Guitar Parlor, and I want to take just a few minutes. I've already began taking a jack out of this guitar. This is a Firefly, one of their classic Telecaster guitars. It really plays real well. Was set up really good from the box. There's only one thing for me that I choose to be different on it. It has, the locking tuners and just ball in frets that are very smooth, whether you like that or you don't. The controls work real good. I've actually opened this control panel up, and there's actually some cloth wiring in there, even though this output jack does not have um, cloth wiring. It's perfectly fine and suitable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to um, do some soldering here. And I'm not the greatest in the world, even though I spent many years in the electrical field and did a lot of soldering from time to time. So what I'm doing is taking out this jack that came with it, and I've already put in the new switchcraft. These are about $6. I don't know, something like that on Amazon, but I like the end of them where they connect in better. And the other plus of this with this guitar was the plate. It just unscrews is all it does with four Phillips head screws. But the hole was big enough. Typically in these Asian model guitars, this hole is a little small, and then you have to drill it to about a 3/8 inch hole in order for your jack to go through and then the nut to go on. Now, one thing I would like, and that is that if Switchcraft would send two nuts, so you could use one for a jam nut on the back. They do send a washer, but another jam nut, so this threads could be a little more flush with the plate. So anyway, the other thing is this soldering iron. I've just got a handful of tools here. One of the things I have learned through the years is run your soldering iron, make it as hot as you possibly can. This is just a very inexpensive one from Amazon, but it's way better than the one I had that came from Harbor Freight. So all I'm going to do is try to carefully take loose these joints on this jack, and it doesn't take a whole lot. It shouldn't. Now these may be bent. A lot of guys that do that is bent. There's the ground loose. The white is your hot, and that's all there is to it as far as getting it off or getting it loose from the previous jack. Again, heat is your best friend when it comes to putting these jacks or soldering. Let me say, and so what I do is you should be able to look and see on these pins, and I should have showed you probably on there, but you can look and tell that this outs or this pin here that's connected to the inside sleeve is actually for the ground on this side. You can, it's very easy to see. And then this, I'm sorry, this one is connected to the tip. And then this one you can see is connected to the ground, the sleeve on the other side. So I'm going to, as quickly as I can, try to solder these back in. The wires are already tinned or they've already got solder on them, so there's no need for me to do that. And then it really doesn't take a whole lot to solder these in. Just simply just a few minutes of patience. Now, so one of the things you can do, I'm going to go here with my positive, which is the white on this particular one. And then a lot of guys bend these. Hopefully you can see on the camera. I know my hands are in the way. It's the best view that I can give you right now. But just slip that in. And what I do is come on this side here and heat it back up. And once it's heated up, then you start running it in. Once you get it started in and then it's heated, that's all you have to do. And it's on there. You don't have to do anything else to that. It doesn't take a whole lot. It doesn't take a lot of the wire. One thing, the wire is very small. It doesn't need to be a heavy wire. It needs to be small. Now, the one thing I have noticed with this, and I'm going to pull a little bit of this ground out of the sheath in there, is that these wire, they make them short so that there's not a lot of slack, which, it's a preference thing more than anything. But being an electrician for years, slack is your friend when it comes to these things because If you don't have enough wiring, which I have plenty here, it's very frustrating to try to get it soldered in. So I've got my ground in there, and all I've done is just basically slipped it through the hole from the front side. Some people might tell you to go the other way, but whatever, it is in there and it's just sitting there. The wire itself's already tinned, which means it had solder on it. And so when I go in here to put this new or put some fresh solder on this ground, all I do is go to this side here, give it just a little bit of heat, and I'm gonna back this wire off a little bit so I don't have to trim it. Back it back up in the hole. All right, a little bit of heat on it. And once we start getting the heat on it, you run the solder from it. If this hot, if your iron is hot, you can run the solder from the other side. And I know somebody's going to say you need to have some kind of vent fan. And if I was doing a lot of this, I would. Once it's soldered on, just take it off, remove your iron, and it's done. This jack will work perfectly. What is the advantage of the switchcraft? There are many advantages, but the one I like the most is it is that solid connection, and this tip is it connects into the your jack on or connects in better to your guitar cable. So this thing's it's ready to go. I mean, you've got plenty of wire here. Just push it back up in there. Make sure that none of it's blocking where your tip is going to go. Now, here's one thing I've noticed. This is a stranded type cable, and I have some little nippers here. One little strand that's kind of straight. I nipped it off because if that grounds that tip anywhere, you will not have signal on this guitar. It will not. It will not work, and you don't want that. And so then the simple part, hopefully, of this is that this jack all fits. I'm just making sure because they left me plenty of wire on this thing, and you should be able to call it, which is good. It's not going to hurt anything. There's plenty of space where this has been drilled out. What you want to do, and I've seen guys do it, you can take your guitar cord and go ahead and put it in the plug. Let's see if I've got it turned the right way. I may have to turn it the other way. You can put it in the plug, and then you know for certain that your jack will go back up in there. But I've looked, and I know that the wire is clear. We've got plenty of space. We're very good to go. But then all that's required is just take a few of these, take the screws that came out of it, and your holes should be very close to line right back up. And you're not trying to build a space shuttle here. You're just trying to put these back in and tighten them up. It's not the worst thing if you strip them out, but it does cause you a little bit more work. I always like to start each one of them. You know, I hear guys say when you start them in, this is a thing that they do. Hopefully everybody can see well on the camera, but one of the things that people do, get started. Let's see if I can get it to a line here. Here we go. And get my fingers on the way. People say start it back about 2 or 3 times. You'll feel that thread back up on that hole where it's threaded out, and you can start it right back in again. Same thing here. It's just trying to get your screw. These, of course, have already been drilled. Back it up. Oh, I felt it. I felt it click. And let's go back in with it. And this is really all there is to this. And we're done. That's it. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope this is helpful to somebody that maybe didn't know and maybe is just starting out on their journey in guitars. Appreciate you. Maybe I'll do a few more of these. Give us a big thumbs up and a like if you did like it. Maybe subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.